and gentlemen, introducing Cranked and Ranked.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah.
That's me. That's me on the recording. That's me there.
And this is a very special Cranked and Ranked. Thank you for joining us. Because we are going to be ranking, but not like we normally do with band discographies. And we're also not going to be slashing and mashing, which we've already done with Load and Reload. This is a very special episode where we have decided to take some time to celebrate the 30th anniversary of hold on, I brought all my stuff. 30th anniversary of this. This is an original 1996 pressing.
Wow.
Of this album on Elektra Records. And so yeah, the 30th anniversary of Load, which came out June 4th, 1996. So right after I graduated high school. And if you're watching or listening to this on the day this episode comes out, then it is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the anniversary.
Yeah. So you're not allowed to watch it yet.
No. Do what you like. Before we get into that, I brought something special that I just recently got that is Cranked and Ranked related that I just wanted to show off for a second because it's nothing special, but it's special to the show. Okay.
Awesome. Oh, nice, dude. Is that a VHS?
It is a VHS in the clamshell case of Air Bud.
Oh, shit, dude. Nice.
And the funny thing is, the only time
That's
I've
my
ever...
favorite Ted Nugent album.
Yeah, it is my favorite as well. The only time I've watched this was for that Cranked and Ranked. And so I decided to get it just because it's so attached to this show. For those of you who are in the know, if you didn't watch that episode, then you don't know. But go check out our Ted Nugent album ranking if you want to know more. But so yeah, the funny thing is, like, I get a lot of my VHS tapes off of eBay, and I literally got this for 75 cents.
Wow.
Plus shipping, which was like $4, but whatever. It's 75 cents, and it's in fairly good shape.
Sweet, dude.
Am I ever going to watch it again? I don't know, but it's going to be on my shelf and be a little reminder of, like, the time we took the piss out of Ted Nugent. Anyway.
Fantastic.
So, celebrating the 30th anniversary of Load.
You know something funny? Yeah. I've just realized as well is, do you remember when we did the Load Reload Slashed and Mashed?
I mean, I don't remember all of it, but we did it, yeah.
So that time I'd actually forgotten it was a Sunday and there was a family gathering here. And
was that the Load and Reload one?
Yeah, and I was piss drunk. How I got through that, I do not know, because I was about 8 beers deep.
I gotta go back and watch that. Everybody go back and watch. Search up Slashed and Mashed Load Reload.
Yeah.
And you'll hear us combine those two albums into one badass album that we love. And then apparently Eddie was drunk.
And today, I'm actually more sober than usual. So clearly, next time we cover Load, I need to be on meth.
Yeah, the 60th anniversary of Load.
And
if you look, like I set my light scheme behind me to something that kind of resembled the album cover. I don't know.
Spunk and blood colors. Hell yeah.
Yep. Which the funny thing is, this has become an album cover that I just love.
Yeah,
I just see it and I'm just like, it looks so fucking cool. Plus, I've now learned that, like, over the 30 years, for some people, the opinion of this album has softened. And so there's not as much shit talking as there used to be. But when there is shit talking, it is always dudes telling on themselves by saying, why would you like an album with cum and blood on the front of it? And, like, there's something about a dude that's what you have to, if that's what you have to point out. It's like, if that bothers you, then you've got bigger problems, dude, because there's these are probably dudes that just watched some fucking movie where somebody's guts got sprayed all over somebody's face and they're just like, cool. But this are like, it's blood and semen, I don't like it. Shut the fuck up. Maybe because it's real blood and semen and it's not yours. Or maybe dudes get turned on by it because they're imagining that it's Lars's blood and semen.
It speaks to a deeper part of their psyche.
That is another thing that I've seen. I've seen people comment that they think this is Metallica's blood and semen.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, guys.
It's Andre Serrano's blood and semen.
Google is free, everybody. I'm just saying. You could look it up.
Saying. Yeah.
So what we're doing today is we're just going to talk all about load. I brought all my load-related physical media, aside from the load box set, which I have, but it's a big fucker, and so I left it in the other room.
I get it.
But also, we are going to rank the songs from Load, from our least favorite to our most favorite. I did this the other night, and it not only was it more difficult than I thought, but it came out differently than I expected it to, for me. And maybe for other people out there, it will come out differently. I don't want to hear this cord make noise anymore. I don't know if anybody can hear that. I hear it. I don't like it. Especially in the podcast world, I always think about those people. Hello, everyone that's listening. That they can just hear these random little noises, and there's no visual, so they're just sitting there and they're hearing. I don't know how annoying that is or not, but I think about you guys.
I often wonder, like, sometimes, like, you know, I'm kind of on a road right here, and sometimes this is kind of a boy racer spot where, you know, someone who thinks they're in the Fast and Furious will just come through here.
Yeah.
And I often wonder, you've picked up on it before, I've had a few cars just come through here, just like super loud and shit. And I wonder if like someone is listening to the podcast at the exact wrong moment and they like think they're being cut up by someone on the road. And it's like, fuck, shit.
Yeah.
That's happened before. I remember the first time I listened to Detroit Rock City in the car, and I had the windows down, and I started hearing the fucking tires screech, and I was like, fuck! You know, I actually thought I was losing control of the car for like a second.
That's some amazing sound effects on that song.
Yeah. Yeah, very immersive. So immersive, I almost totaled my car.
So on the subject of load, I have such an interesting. A big reason why I wanted to devote an entire episode talking about this is because I have such a interesting relationship with this album because I first heard Metallica through the video for one, but the first Metallica album I bought was the Black Album after it came out. You saw the Inner Sandman, and I was like, this song's great. I'm gonna buy this album, and I became a massive Metallica fan where I went and bought all the rest of their albums. And so at this point, that was 91. So this was 5 years of a build up towards the next Metallica album, and so this was the first like album that I was anticipating as a Metallica fan, and I worked at Best Buy when this album came out, and I don't know if this was maybe in May or how much earlier it was than the album coming out, but at Best Buy we got a box, a shipment of these CD singles for Until It Sleeps, and I bought one because I was like, fuck yeah, new Metallica. This is, I don't know how much space it was between this and the album, but this one has Until It Sleeps and then their cover of Overkill by Motorhead, which we'll be talking about Motorhead very soon. But I love they didn't make a lot like this, where it's the little tray that slides out.
Cool.
And it's like a paper thing. But I remember, like, first of all, getting this and seeing like this picture of them on the back, and I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, everything about this is so like not what I was expecting from Metallica, but then the song itself was very different than what I expected from Metallica. But but the thing about this song is that I went home, listened to the song for the first time on this CD single, and I liked it. And I was like, this is not what I was expecting. And the more that I listen to it, the more I'm like, this is a really great song. And flash forward to the following day, I go back to Best Buy, and there was this guy I worked with named Lee. I don't know if he watches my stuff, but we're Facebook friends. Hello, Lee. He was also a massive Metallica fan. He felt the exact opposite of how I felt. Right. I'm walking through the door and I hear him on the other end of the store. He's like, "What is this fucking shit?" Like, he was pissed, and I was just like, I don't know. I thought it was good. So that this was like what, there was no, as far as I remember, there were no other singles released before the album came out. So this was it. And then I'm sure I've told this story on like probably 2 or 3 different episodes of stuff on this channel and on Cranked and Ranked. But the album was released in Austin. I was living in Austin, Texas at the time, at midnight. So it was June 3rd into June 4th. At midnight at Tower Records, they were going to be selling the album. So we were gearing up to go stand in line and get the album at midnight. And a local radio station, I don't know if it was the rock station or the alternative station. I don't remember which station it was, but a few hours before the album was released, they played the album in its entirety on the radio. Wow. And I'm at work. I'm at Best Buy, and we're in the back area where, like, a lot of times, especially back in the 90s, if you walked into a Best Buy and you're like, I need somebody to help me out, where the fuck is everybody? That's where we were. We were all in the back trying not to work, and then you would hear that thing like, somebody from music software, please come to the front. Be like, fuck. But anyway, so we're back in the back and have a radio on. And then all of a sudden they start playing the album and I hear Ain't My Bitch. And I had kind of a different reaction then. I was like, what? Just listening to the first verse and the first chorus, I'm like,
out of my way, out of my day.
Yeah, out of my way, out of my day. And then, of course, it ain't my bitch, which now that's fucking cool as shit to me. I love that song. Yeah. But at the time, I'm like, are they playing the right? Is this a joke? Because like even then I was like, this feels a little bit too like not different in a way that I enjoyed for Metallica. And so I don't even know if we listened to the entire album. I'm pretty sure we probably turned it off so we could like go and listen to it, on our own. So that night after work, midnight, we're standing in line at Tower Records and got the album at that point on CD. Which I don't have a CD copy of the album. I do have 2 vinyl copies of the album though. Anyway, so yeah, I got the album, and my experience with Until It Sleeps and with Ain't My Bitch kind of described my first experience listening to the album, where like I would hear a song and I would go, this is different from Metallica, but I really like this, followed by a song where I go, I don't really know how I feel about this song, especially on the latter half of the album. There's some of my least favorite songs on the album are in the latter half. I love them all now, but at the time there was more where I was going, I don't really know if I'm on board with what they're doing. But the thing is, I loved the band enough to keep listening to the album, and so songs grew on me, and then years and years and years and years and years have passed, 30 years now. And it's become an album that not only do I enjoy front to back, but I embrace it because of all the negativity towards it. Because I feel like, look, if I ended up liking it, why wouldn't every other Metallica fan end up liking it? Because why wouldn't that happen? But a lot of Metallica fans do now. In fact, some people, like I see comments where people are saying like, this is where they jumped on with Metallica, and I'm like, oh, so this is a very different experience for you. But anyway, so now we're here 30 years later, and now it's an album that like I feel like it's I want to protect it. I don't even more so with Saint Anger, which we'll get to in several years whenever that has a 30th anniversary. But the albums like this that are unfairly criticized. Like a lot of people try to point out, if some other band made this album, people would love it. People wouldn't. No, well, either that or people wouldn't be talking so much shit about it. And I guess that makes sense.
If it had come out by like, you know, Alice in Chains or Corrosion of Conformity or, you know, any of like those heavy bands that made a name in the mid-tempo zone of the era that had, you know, also become established since Metallica had done the Black Album and gone down more of a groovy route. I firmly believe that like this is a fantastic album that was just a massive step away from what the band started out as. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, but at this point, I think I was already set up and had already become a person that enjoyed bands doing something different because I had already gone through the you know, Faith No More going from The Real Thing to Angel Dust, and Angel Dust being like amazing, and me just being like, I was just like, I didn't know that I wanted them to do this album, but now I love that they did it. And in other bands as well. There were other bands that that had done similar things where they had made an album that was kind of different from the one that I knew before. But so I think maybe I was predisposed to have the album grow on me quicker than other people, maybe. But because you know, as I famously said, people love to like jump in and be like, "Oh, I've loved Angel Dust since it came out," and I want to be like, "No, you didn't." Like everyone I talked to, there were a lot of people that did not like that album at all, and I had to hear it. Anyway, so what about you? So like I remember your Metallica journey, because didn't your uncle give you like a thing that had a lot of Metallica albums on it all at once?
Yeah, so basically, you know, up until I was about like, you know, 11, I didn't really have much interest in music. And then one day, you know, I found out my friend had an iPod, and I was like, oh, I should get one of those. You know, I want to listen to more music. I liked music, but a lot of my music taste came from like, you know, movies and games and stuff like that. It wasn't until about like 2009 I got really into Eminem first. That was the first thing I got really into, and then eventually my mum found out I knew a little bit too much because of Eminem, and I got kind of an Eminem ban for a while. So as a result of that, I ended up looking for aggressive music elsewhere, and it just so happened that right around the time I got banned from listening to Eminem, the school I went to had it was in like the last week before Christmas, and they'd set up like a Guitar Hero tournament in the school hall, and they projected Guitar Hero onto this huge wall. And I remember, like, I didn't participate because I didn't know the first fucking thing about playing Guitar Hero. So I just kind of watched, and I was like, that looks fun. Why the fuck haven't I played this before? And then I put it on my Christmas list. Unfortunately, it was a little too close to Christmas. I didn't get it for Christmas, but I did have enough pocket money saved up to buy it. So a few days later, when the shops opened again, because, you know, you've got... I can't remember. Like, I couldn't drive. I was 11, so I had to wait until it was possible to go out. And we went to a shop called Comet. Comet's not around anymore, but I went in and I said, I want Guitar Hero 5. That was the latest one that had come out. She said, you haven't really talked about many of these bands before. I was like, no, I want to get it. So I got it. Ended up playing it. And the songs I really gravitated to were the anything that sounded like that. Yeah. There was a Megadeth song, an Iron Maiden song, Motley Crue song, among others. But I can remember, you know, eventually, you know, I heard a few Rammstein songs on Kerrang, and I was like, I like those riffs. I heard a few System of a Down songs. I like that. And I went to my uncle and I said, hey, look, you got to have loads of CDs. Can you maybe, like, you know, put me together like a best of or something? And he said, I'll get right to it. And he gave me actually DVD-Rs, which could hold more music, and I basically ripped all of these things. Like, you know, I know Metallica had a big thing with Napster in the early 2000s, but it actually paid off for me. But
to be fair, that sharing that way is a little more like tape trading than it is just downloading from some stranger on the internet. So.
Exactly. And basically, I remember the first song I ever clicked on, I was like, oh, Master of Puppets, that sounds creepy. Cool, that's got to be good. Clicked on that song, and I was on the bus home from school, and it was like a 15-minute journey, and I think I listened to Master of Puppets, and then I think it might have even been like one, and like those two back to back, and I was like, good God.
Yeah, that's a lot.
What the
for you to
fuck?
Go through.
and then like as soon as I got off the bus, I realized that there was a Guitar Hero specifically for Metallica, and that was like the next step. And I got that, and I got really into the songs that were on there. I think the only thing is the only 3 albums I had on that mix, among other stuff like Rage Against the Machine, a bunch of other like heavy bands and stuff. He didn't just do Metallica. The 3 albums on there were Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice.
Okay.
Now, when I get Guitar Hero Metallica, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, they got some different stuff going on. But then when I asked, hey, look, any chance you could give me the rest of the Metallica? He was like, yeah, sure, here's all of them. Burned them all in an afternoon. And as I was like, going through them, I was like, I gravitated to the early stuff because that was the stuff they were playing in the the Live Shit Binge and Purge box set, which I'd also been watching religiously.
Yeah.
That he happened to own because he was living in this room at the time. And I can remember just loving those songs, but I didn't really know anything beyond the Black Album.
Yeah.
So when I gravitated, I was like, what's this Load album? This different. It's got like a different logo. Say, what's this Reload one? What's going? Flipped it over. They got short. What's going on here? Because I wasn't really tapped into what they looked like now.
Yeah.
I just started buying Kerrang magazine. It's almost like someone with like special powers grabbing your fucking forehead and going 30 years of knowledge in one go, and it's like, whoa, holy shit, man. It's like I'd absorbed like an entire chronology of a band's
My
existence.
brain immediately went. Last night I watched the '90s classic Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves. But there's the scene where they upload all this data into his brain, and he like puts a bit in his mouth, and he's like, and I was like, that's what you felt like.
Oh, dude, the craziest thing about this is Johnny Mnemonic is set 5 years ago.
Yes.
It is set in 2021.
And the cast in that movie is insane because it's Keanu Reeves, but it also has Ice-T and Henry Rollins both in the movie.
And Dolph Lundgren.
And well, that's the what Dolph Lundgren. If you ever watch that movie, his part is the part of the movie where you go, did they just shoehorn him into this movie somehow? Because there's no reason for his character to be in the movie. If you take his character out, it doesn't change the trajectory of the movie at all. But it's a fun movie though. But I really I've grown to really love those mid-90s. I guess this counts because this is also a mid-90s album. But the mid-90s movies where everything's like you're gonna have to hack your own mind, like but like the early internet and computer speak stuff. Just makes me so happy because it's like this movie was a movie I saw in the theater and I didn't really like it, but it's gained so much that I love because of that kind of dialogue and stuff. And I'm just like, you can't remake that movie anymore. If they try to remake it now, everything will be like too perfect. And I'm just like, quit trying to make movies perfect. Quit trying to, go through dialogue with a fine tooth comb. If it sounds cool to say, you gotta hack your own mind, then please put that in the movie.
One of my favorite parodies of that kind of thing is actually in Kung Fury when Hacker Man says something like, he's actually just saying a bunch of gibberish that sounds like computer speak.
Yeah.
He said, we need to overdrive the dial-up and hack the uplink to the download. And it's like, it's just fucking gibberish.
Yep.
But it doesn't actually make any sense, but it sounds smart.
Yeah.
I love that.
Doesn't matter. They can say whatever the fuck they want. I'm just along for the ride with a lot of that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so you got so eventually you found the Load album.
Yes.
But what were your thoughts initially?
My thoughts were, like, bearing in mind, I'm just about, like, freshly 12 years old at this point. My 12th birthday has passed.
So this is 2010. folks.
This is 2010. Yeah, 2010 was like a pivot year for me, like interest wise.
Yeah.
You know, gone were the Doctor Who posters, and up was Metallica. You know. Anyway, I distinctly remember that we went on holiday to Spain that summer. And there was a lot of time just traveling in like a rented minivan that we had. And we had, we've got like a family member who is Spanish. And, we actually we didn't stay in a resort because the resort we were going to stay at.
For our American listeners, that's somebody who's actually from Spain.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a fun little anecdote.
Over here, everybody's Mexican.
We were going to be staying at this resort, and they didn't tell me this at the time, but it actually burned down right before we went. So like, I narrowly avoided potentially being in a house fire, which, I was traumatized at a very young age by the building fire scene in Batteries Not Included. And that gave me recurring...
That is a movie I've not thought about in a long time.
Dude, that movie, like, I watched it at like 6 years old, right before Christmas. Now, bearing in mind, before Christmas, there's like additional adverts on the TV over here that are like, have you checked your smoke alarm? A fire doesn't have to kill you to take your life, buddy.
Don't leave your TV on after midnight. It will blow up.
Yeah, shit like that. And like already, like I'm like, man, this fire stuff is safe. Should we have those lights on the Christmas tree? It could set fire in the house. The fire brigade came to the school and taught me about
Smokey the Bear. You guys have Smokey the Bear over there?
We didn't have Smokey the Bear, but what we did have was just like the fire brigade would show up and it's like, hey, what do you think this is? And I'm like, I don't know.
It's a human skull.
Yes, yeah. It was like, what was it? They would show up, and this used to be a PlayStation, and it was just like this deformed, like looking thing. And I was like, oh my god, the fire could do that.
Like, don't worry about your family members burning. You don't want your fucking PlayStation to burn, kids. So be careful.
Yeah, it's like if the fire could do that to a PlayStation, it could do it to me. I don't want to do that. So I can remember just all of this build up, and then like my mum's like, yeah, let's gather around, let's have a family movie night, let's do all that, and we're there, we're watching Batteries Not Included. And at the time, I'm thinking, oh, cool, there's a building fire scene in this movie, and like people are being rescued and shit, and there's explosions and shit. I went to bed that night and had a nightmare, and that nightmare defined going to sleep for the rest of my childhood.
Wow.
I had a nightmare because this house is a pretty big house by British standards. It actually used to be two separate flats, but it was eventually in the 90s was turned into one. And there's two living rooms, but one of them is used as a dining area and one is used as a living room. But we had two Christmas trees and we have two fireplaces. Now, both are door-closed wood burners. Actually, no, one wasn't. One was an open fire, and one was one that you could shut. And I remember having this nightmare as a kid that an ember had rolled out of the open fireplace and lit fire to one of the Christmas trees. And I had a dream that I woke up in the middle of the night and none of my family were there. It was just 6-year-old me dealing with this house fire, right? And I just remember, oh my fucking god, holy shit, what am I going to do? I'm gonna die here. So I run to the door, yanking on the door, doesn't fucking open. And then I run back into the other room, watch the door open, lights fire to the other Christmas tree. So I'm there, run in between, and it's one of few times in my life I've woken up screaming. It was like, it was that impactful to me that I didn't sleep in my own room for like 2 years as a kid because it just freaked me out so fucking much. But where was I going with that? It's just
you went to Spain and the house burned down. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. So the resort burned down, and in Spain there was a lot of driving to do, and I was only 12, so I was in the back. Just put my wired earbuds at the time. Show my age. And I was listening to Metallica's entire catalog start to finish. And I just, over the course of this holiday, whenever we were driving, I'd pick up right where I left off. and started with Kill 'Em All, went through all of the 80s stuff, and as soon as the Black Album finished, I was like, right, this is unfamiliar territory, So I listened through Load, Reload, Garage Inc., not knowing that Garage Inc. was covers. So
okay. Yeah.
I thought they were originals as well. I was like, man, 96, 97, 98, these guys were on a fucking roll. And then obviously S&M, and then Saint Anger. Saint Anger spun me out, not because it was, anything other. The main thing I noticed was the snare drum, but I was like, cool, it's different. But
yeah,
the thing I thought that they'd actually replaced it with like a samba drum, because I'd heard like samba music before, and that's what the drum sounded like.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, they just took the snare drum and replaced it with one of those like clanging samba drums. And then obviously the latest album at that point was Death Magnetic. So when it got to Death Magnetic and it was back in the thrash zone, it was a very full circle time to get into Metallica, because it was like, oh, they're thrash again now.
Yeah.
Of course, then the following year they put out Lulu, and I ended up in a similar boat to probably your friend hearing this album for the first time. But lo and behold, here I am. I appreciate all of Metallica for different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something that's got to be said, and I mean, I'm assuming it still happens today, especially with it being easier to stream music and stuff. But family car trips are amazing for music discovery. Like for me though, obviously, like when I was a kid, there weren't iPods or whatever, so it was like you brought your Walkman with extra batteries, and then you had a case of cassette tapes, which a lot of times I would, it would just be dubbed. Sometimes I would just record stuff off the radio or off of MTV, or if my older brother had an album that looked interesting, I'd dub that onto a tape to just listen to it. But like that was really like diving in and getting to know albums, was having those times where you're just sitting in the back seat and your parents want you to shut up, or my parents did anyway. And so I'm just like, all right, well, I'm going to put on my headphones and listen to all this shit that I have. And that was great. I hated going on car trips, but I enjoyed the time to just soak in music because it was like super great. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so Load.
Yes.
I pulled up the wiki just to like look through it to see if there's anything interesting to talk about on it. The first thing, because the other night, on Friday night, I listened to the album in full again. And as usual, every time I listen to it, I'm always just like, this sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's
like,
produced insanely well.
It is beefy. And I love how beefy the album sounds. I know that's probably not the best description, but, I'm not an engineer or producer.
No, I'm with you. It sounds beefy.
But it's just got a really big, fat sound, and I think it's great for the music, which is Bob Rock's doing, him and his crew. But probably the other thing to really discuss with this is that, in the time it took for them to, do all their touring for the Black Album, all of a sudden, hairstyles started to change. First, it was Jason. Jason shaved his head first.
Yeah.
Then James had the mighty mullet thing going on for a little bit. But then all of a sudden, I just think that I don't really remember if there was actual images or anything of how the band looked before Load came out. Because in my memory, I got the album, and then you had these pictures like this, and on the vinyl one, all these different pictures. And I remember some of these pictures, and it makes sense when I read about who did the pictures. My first thought was, these look like pictures from the U2 album Achtung Baby, which that's the only U2 album I've ever owned, which I actually still kind of like that album. But I was like, I think it's the same photographer, and they were really going for that. Well, in my brain, I'm like, are they going for that? We're going to be the U2 of metal, and I guess in some ways they were at that time, the U2 of metal. But I that's the one thing, is that I don't care if you've already proven yourself to me as a fucking amazing band, you can do whatever the fuck you want with your hair. But I have to admit, even as a 48-year-old man, when there's a new band that comes out and the whole band has short hair, I go, what kind of bullshit are you going to fucking bring to me, dude? You guys aren't even devoted enough to grow your hair out. And it's even worse when like you got one with like one of those weird things where you make it into a fucking little tiny mohawk with your tiny short hair, and then another dude is bald with a beard. And then there's so many metal bands these days. I get album promos in my inbox every day. Yeah. And they all come with a one sheet with here's the name of the band, here's the name of the album, here's the album if you want to download, listen to it, here's a picture of the band. And the number of things where times I just scroll and I see the band and I go, fuck you. Not listening to your shit if that's how you're going to present yourself to the world. Okay? And I know that that's childish and stupid, but I'm being honest.
I would even argue that, there is something to be said for, that whole grunge idea of just like rocking up on stage how you would dress any other day.
Yes.
But even grunge had its own aesthetic to it where it was like a rejection of, the norms in terms of like arena rock at the time. However, I do have that visual ick when I see a band where it's like, man, you could be any other motherfucker at Home Depot, and
yes.
I wouldn't there is an element to it where there is a visual element to being in a band, whether or not you're, saying fuck it to it or not. At the end of the day, I am probably going to gravitate towards a band that has at least some modicum of rock and roll in their image,
I don't know. It's weird that that's important. Hair, it's weird,
but it is weird. It is weird, but at the same time, it's like if you look like a barista, I'm probably not gonna click on you over a band that has at least one thrash-looking guy remotely interesting looking. Because at the end of the day, rock and roll has had a long history of quote unquote letting your freak flag fly.
Yes.
And you got these bands coming out now that are like, I expected to be treated like fucking Bon Jovi. It's like, all right, where's the pizzazz?
Yeah.
There is an element there where, you don't have to have a massive fucking perm. You don't even have to have long hair, but,
yeah. But
at least think about matching your sound.
But here's one big reason why we're assholes for thinking that way. Mm-hmm. The music industry is not what it used to be. So if you want to be in a band, you also have to hopefully be able to get a good job for when you're not on tour.
Yeah. That's true.
And unfortunately, there is still a whole lot of people out there that are the CEOs or hiring managers or whatever of companies that are just like, you can't have your hair that way, you can't have tattoos or whatever. So I feel for these guys. Yeah. But I would be lying if I said it didn't make a difference. Another big no-no for me, if you're in your band's publicity photo, any member of the band is doing the metal horns. That for some reason that is the cheesiest. Like, if I'm coming to see your band and I do the metal horns, that's fine. In your promo picture, if you're doing the metal horns,
that's reserved for the audience.
That's cheeseball.
Yeah, that's the audience's job, not yours.
Yeah, that just makes me feel like you got into metal like a year ago and you've joined a band and now you're like, hey, I'm metal, guys. Anyway.
I'm part of the team.
So that kind of thinking is what made people mad at Metallica. They cut their hair. Not only did they cut their hair, they had pictures where they were wearing eyeliner. And then look, Kirk had his nails painted. I have my nails painted. Somebody in a comment somewhere asked me, like, why would you paint your nails? And my response is always the same thing. So everybody knows I'm not one of you.
Hey, nice.
That is my number one. If anyone is confused, that's what. Well, I like how it looks too, but also on top of it, I You see, even with coloring my hair, I like the way it looks, but I also love going out in public and being able to have everybody fucking knows I'm not one of them. One of quote unquote them. So that's why.
By the way, quick shout out to the dude who said, "Oh, no way, L7, fuck yeah," to me when I was out on the street wearing my L7 t-shirt.
Nice.
Elite bowl knowledge right there, my friend. Shout out to you.
And today you got Mr. Bungle, which is not. Oh shit! I got a special shirt on today. I actually totally forgot.
Cool.
So this is the official shirt of the Houston chapter of the Metallica fan club.
Cool.
Which is the Space City Puppets. Now, I don't know who came up with that name. I'm not really that into it, but NASA is here, so I get that's the Space City thing. But I feel like we could have come up with a better name than that. But unfortunately, that's the official name of the Houston chapter of the Metallica fan club. So, cool. Anyway, so I wore that because it's Metallica Day.
They could have done like an Orion thing, like a space thing.
Sure. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it enough but I feel like I could probably come up with a better name than Space City Puppets, but whatever. There's worse. If you go look at the names of the Metallica fan clubs around the world, some of them are really bad. But but they're all fans.
Cum Zone Puppets.
Why can't we be the Houston Blood and Semen guys?
Yeah.
Houston Blood and Semen fans. Anyway, okay. So there was that too. It doesn't help. Like their look was already different, and then there's this weird album cover that looks very much unlike a Metallica album with the logo that's kind of like a truncated version of the Metallica logo, where the M and the A are still pointy, but just slightly.
Yeah, looks like it looks like a pair of fangs. It's a little more subtle.
Yeah. But yeah, so if some of you are listening to this or watching this because you're just fans of us, hi, hello, we appreciate you, and you're not really into this album or don't know much about it, they spent a lot of time writing and recording stuff, so much so that they had 2 full albums worth of stuff that was relatively ready to go.
Yeah.
And then
and when we say full album, we're talking complete CD runtime to the point where they had to fade out the final track.
Yeah. So they had a lot of music. And as far as I can tell, this was the only album. It might not be the only one, but this was the one where it was predominantly like there was a lot of jam sessions and collaborative writing. Mm-hmm. And one of the only albums where Kirk Hammett plays rhythm guitar on it too, because usually it's James Hetfield records
either side, right?
I think so, but I know that most of the time it's just James records all the rhythm guitars, and then Kirk comes in and does solos and leads or whatever he needs to do. But so this album always has that feel to me of being a little more collaborative, a little bit more of a loose sort of band album, which I've grown to really love over the years. But yeah, so they recorded a shitload of stuff, and then I think because they were ready to just put something out and go on tour, they finished up 1 album's worth of what they thought, I guess, would be the strong material for 1 album, and that was Load. And then later on, they would finish up all the rest of the stuff, and that would come out as Reload. So the thought originally was to do a double album. And if they'd spent a little more time, they could have just done a Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, because those are both very long albums that came out at the same time. But yeah, so I guess, So, but obviously there's a change in sound here. A lot more bluesy elements, some of a almost like alternative rock kind of vibe to some of the stuff. Even on the tracks that are a little bit faster, it's still much slower than Metallica had been known for in the past. Yeah. I found a little tidbit on the album cover. The cover of Load is an original artwork titled Semen and Blood 3. It is one of 3 photographic studies created by New York artist Andre Serrano in 1990 by mingling bovine blood. Oh, so it wasn't his blood. Bovine blood and his own semen between 2 sheets of plexiglass. So, yeah, which is that's it. I mean, that's like one of those things where it's just like my brain may have thought about doing something like that, but then I would be like, no, I'm not going to put that out. I feel like there's like, do you have something to say as an artist if you're just like, this is going to go out as a piece of my art? And the interesting thing, like, you know, modern art, I don't know how you feel about modern art, but modern art for me is so interesting because I can see stuff where I go, this is fucking amazing. And it can literally can just be a huge mess of a canvas, but it'll speak to me in a way that I go, color-wise, everything makes me happy. But I'll see something else, sometimes even by the same artist, and I'll be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I've seen some stuff before where I've been like, yeah, it's pretty cool, and then other stuff where I'm like, what the fuck is this? Yeah,
yeah. No, even beyond that, in our dining area in my house, my wife has a framed Picasso. Obviously not an original; it's a print of a Picasso, but it's literally a painting. It's not even a painting. It is like a line drawing of a hand holding some flowers. And it is so poorly drawn that every time I look at it and I go, I'm shitty at art. I could do this. And this motherfucker is fucking Picasso?
It's just, definitely has daycare vibes, that one.
It's just one of the sloppiest looking pieces of art ever, but somebody could look at it and be like, oh, I love this. And I'm just like, what a fucking joke. Anyway. So yeah, Hammett came across the photo in an art book of Serrano's work titled Body and Soul that he purchased from the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. He said at the time that at first glance he thought it resembled hot rod flames due to a similar tattoo he had, recalling the abstract art and psychedelia of a 1960s gig poster. The image depicts an amoeba-like blend of strawberry red and creamy white tones swirling against a mottled black background. Serrano had known of the band but was unaware of their music. He appreciated the collaboration and believed it would help expand his audience. Hammett wanted the picture as Lode's cover artwork because he thought it was beautiful and it was the form, not the content, that was great. One of Serrano's artworks was also used for the cover of Reload the following year, which I think is urine and blood on that one.
Yeah. Was it
blood and urine or some shit like that?
Blood. I typed in urine and blood, and the first thing that came up with like
go to the doctor.
Go to the doctor. Yeah. Was it urine and blood? Andre Serrano. Urine and blood. He also did Piss Christ, right?
Fuck, I don't know.
That's the one where he put a Jesus in his pee.
Anyway,
wow,
I'm going to read the rest of this. Not all the band members liked the photo. While Ulrich loved it, Newsted hated it and refused to discuss it in interviews. Hammett believed Newsted cared too much about what the fans think, although he did not want fan reactions to dictate or censor what he did. Hetfield felt indifferent about the artwork and was more concerned about potential backlash from retailers who would refuse to sell the album over the cover. In 2009, Hetfield expressed his dislike of the artwork, calling it a piss take around art made for the sake of shocking others. Due to the band's differing views, a compromise was reached wherein the artwork's title would not appear in the album's liner notes, but Serrano remained credited as the cover artist. In 2018 interview, Ulrich maintained his appreciation for Load and Reload covers, calling them his favorite Metallica album covers. Yeah, I love the album cover too.
I think aesthetically they're very cool.
The thing that I think is so interesting is that the only negativity I've heard about the cover comes from dudes. And you know very well these are dudes who have been covered in their own spunk one time or another. And I'm all like, so what is your problem? But I'm assuming it's probably mostly homophobes that are like, if you look at other dudes cum, you're gay. Gay!
It's Metallica albums, guy.
Yeah.
We're a guy.
Anyway.
That's the what South Park episode is that? That's guy.
I just remember the one where they find that Stan's dog is gay or whatever.
Yeah.
Stupid
Don't
gay
be
dog.
gay.
Stupid
Red
go-go.
Rocket. Dumb guy.
So, but yeah. So anyway, so yeah. So I guess let's go through. Let's go through my stuff I brought real quick.
Okay.
So obviously I brought that original vinyl. This one is the reissued one that's on the yellowish
Cool.
vinyl. That I think were they Walmart? Walmart sold through Walmart, something like that. I don't know. But I got all of those reissues because those are the only, like, as far as I know, they did a couple other color vinyl reissues, but the Walmart ones were like the main ones where they did a different color. Everything else was black vinyl. If you went to go like to their website or whatever.
Cool.
So okay, after I got that Until It Sleeps, I have another Until It Sleeps CD single. This one has 2x4 Live and FOBD, which is AKA Until It Sleeps, an early writing process version.
Cool.
And this one is the more traditional, this is actually Vertigo Records, so this is from your neck of the woods. Then I have the CD single for King Nothing,
Cool.
which also has Ain't My Bitch Live on the back. Where's it from? August 4th, Irvine Meadows Amphitheater, Irvine, California. Which I think a lot of this shit obviously ended up on the Load box set. Hero of the Day single, which has the Kill Ride the Lightning medley live on it as well. What is this one? Mama Said, though this one is a part one of a 2 CD set. Oh, this is part 2. Okay, this is part 1 of Mama Said, which has a bunch of live tracks and a Mama Said edit. Oh, hello, there you go. King Nothing, Whiplash, and then Mama Said edit, which I don't really remember what the edit is. But I do like the Rorschach kind of thing they went for with these covers. And then there's Mama Said part 2 of the 2 set thing, which has Mama Said So What live, Creeping Death live, and then Mama Said early demo version. And this one has a little image under the tray, which is basically saying, go get part 1 of this. And I'm like, I did. Then I've got this little guy right here. This I think they redid this for the Load box set. This is the Mama Said 7-inch that also has Ain't My Bitch live. And then the picture disc is, let's see. So it's obviously got the dudes on that side, but then like it's got that on the other side, which is very cool. Did you get the Load box set?
I didn't. I couldn't afford to at the time.
Got it. Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
And then last but not least, you can't really see what this is. But this
You can vaguely see is it embossed?
Yeah, it's embossed, but then inside of it, it's the Hero of the Day 12-inch maxi single. This one has, if you look at it's got Hero of the Day, then it's got Moldy, which is a demo version of Hero of the Day. Hero of the Day out of B-sides mix, which is actually like a remix, electronic remix kind of thing.
Yep.
Which I loved when they did these. They only did these for Load from Load through like Saint Anger. And then Overkill, the fucking Motorhead song. And that's just black. But I went through a thing like once I was fully trying to get everything Metallica on vinyl. Like I literally did that. Like I got pretty much everything. I'm trying to think is there something vinyl related. The only things that I don't have that are Metallica vinyl are literally just earlier pressings of albums. So I've got original pressings of a lot of the albums, but like, my Kill 'Em All is from 87 and not 83. But other than that, like I have a vinyl copy of everything that they've ever done on vinyl.
Cool.
So, and I'm very proud of that fact because they're my favorite band of all time. But yeah, back to So clearly, I ended up really liking this album because I got everything from it. But I also have
Yeah.
everything from Reload, and Reload. Reload's my least favorite Metallica album. So still, I think it still is.
Yeah, that's mainly because it's the only time I remember you saying it's the only time they did something again.
Yeah,
Right. It's the only time that they've redone a vibe.
yeah, and you could say that a little bit about 72 Seasons, but in my opinion, in certain ways, 72 Seasons is an improvement of Hardwired. Although there is things off Hardwired that I absolutely love, but I do feel like it's similar, but almost like a not to compare these albums, but Ride the Lightning to Master of Puppets. I feel like those albums are similar in certain ways, and then different in other ways. But if 5 years from now Metallica puts out another similar sounding album, I'll be a little bit disappointed, but I'll probably still love it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was going to ask as well. Like before we get into any song rankings, I wanted to ask. This is a heavy question.
Oh shit! Okay.
How many albums do you think Metallica have left in the tank? Because I've heard some people that thought Hardwired was going to be their last, and then now 72 Seasons is 3 years old. They're older dudes.
I'd say at least one, if not more.
Yeah.
I do know for sure, knowing this band and how much they plan out what they're going to be doing and how it's going to be presented, they're not going to just randomly call it quits unless, knock on wood, hopefully there's no like death or anything that causes the band to end.
Holy shit.
Barring that, I think it's going to be the kind of thing where I'm going to kind of feel like it's an album to album thing now, where once they get to the songwriting process and the, of putting together another album, they might get to the point where they go, this might be where we need to call it quits with making albums. But here's what I would like. This probably won't happen because most fans will be shitty about it. I want them to stop trying to do metal. They can do metal, and I will be very happy if they do it. But like the over the past several years, they'd put out those acoustic reimaginings of their songs.
Yeah.
And I loved all of them to the point where I go, why not just write some songs like that? Like put out your Jar of Flies or whatever. Dude. Because like I feel like maybe that's not how they want to go out, but I'm all like, I would love that so much if they just did an acoustic sort of laid back album. I would absolutely love it. I welcome it. I would encourage them to do it. Because as they get older, they can continue to make music as a band. They don't have to constantly be like, well, we got to have the fast riffing and we got to have the skank beat or whatever in some part of the song. Because you don't. Because as they've shown us recently, there's only on the most recent album, I think there's only one song that has that fast galloping beat on it, and that's 72 Seasons. Is that I think that's the only one. Oh no, Room of Mirrors or whatever also has a more gallopy beat to it. But other than that, they don't really do that that much. Same thing with Hardwired. It was Hardwired and Spit Out the Bone. That's it. But that's fine with me. They've already done that. Like the thing that makes me love Metallica so much is because of Load, because of Saint Anger, because of Lulu, because of the movie Through the Never, all of these different things that they did that they didn't have to do. They could have continued to pump out similar albums and probably still been just as successful. So if I was ever able to sit down with, Lars or James, like that's the one thing I would discuss is like my love of them following their gut and doing something different. But if that's not what they want to do, then I understand that as well. You know, I understand it's like, well, if maybe that's not what they want to do anymore. Maybe they don't need to make any kind of statements like that. What happened to this thing? This is something that I'm going to have to figure out at a later date. I have these little cool like sticky wire connectors that keep the wires on my desk, and one of them has come undone.
Oh no!
And I'm like, fuck you. Anyway, what do you think? Do you think that they have more albums past another one, or what do you think?
I certainly hope so. Like, you know, I definitely think there's one more. Hopefully, you know, this is me fanboying out a little bit. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, 2, maybe even 3. I may be pushing it a little bit, but what I mean by that is, like, I think about the stretches of time where we didn't get a Metallica album.
Yeah.
And sometimes I ponder to myself, what would that album have sounded like? You know, what if there was an album between the Black Album and Load? Like, you know, I have this thing in my head where I'm thinking, would they have gone the Pantera route? Would they have gone the Alice in Chains route? Would there be some sort of low style groove album in there as well? You know, I like to ponder these alternative history scenarios in my head from time to time. Where, you know, I think, you know, as of the Black Album, there are these huge gaps where a Metallica album could have gone, and like, you know, an album between. I mean, I know they did Garage Inc. and S&M and I Disappear. I think, you know, if there was like a Y2K Metallica album, would it have been more overtly post-grungy and nu metal adjacent?
Well, I mean, to be fair, we almost had, like, if you listen to the stuff on Some Kind of Monster that didn't make it onto Saint Anger.
Yeah, for sure.
It would, that's another thing. Once they do the Saint Anger box set, I'm like, please put all those unreleased Presidio recordings on there. Please.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to make me really happy, put it on vinyl. Like, put it all on a special vinyl of all of the or you know, even if they want to just edit together and make the best versions of those songs that didn't get released, just do it. I would love to hear it.
There's a really cool performance they did in like 2006, like right between Saint Anger and Death Magnetic. There was a song they were working on that would eventually become End of the Line.
And
there's a riff in there that is 20 years old and they still haven't used, and it says. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
That's so fucking cool. How has it not been used yet, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's got too much in common with the Saint Anger era. I don't know. Maybe they tried to distance.
Yeah, maybe so. But and I know that like pretty soon they've got the Reload box set coming out, which I'm always excited for anything Metallica, but I am like ready for that Saint Anger box set because I'm just like I don't know. I'm ready for all of that shit. Interesting era for the band and for me too. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Load. Also an interesting era for the band, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I've always like I'm listening to the album again and trying to rank the songs, which we'll get to real quick in a second. I started to, it always gets into my brain thinking about these songs coming together, and I just feel like from James's perspective, and I might be wrong, from James's perspective, it seems like he was just tired of writing metal songs.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like outside of being in Metallica, I feel like he was listening to like country music and blues music.
Yeah.
And maybe like, some of the more groovy, grunge or like, Corrosion of Conformity, what they were doing at the time. Because like, I guess before this album, did Deliverance come out before? Yeah, Deliverance came out before Load.
Yeah, Deliverance is before this.
Yeah, and then even before that, Corrosion of Conformity did Blind, which is kind of a different album for Corrosion of Conformity too. Eventually, we'll rank Corrosion of Conformity for anyone who's interested. I always got that where I feel like part of the reason why the album came out sounding how it sounded is because I think James was just like, I've written all of this stuff. We've written this stuff. I don't really want to write that anymore. And so the songs came out how they came out, which still has a very metallic vibe to a lot of it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because if
but more in a Sabbathy way than a thrashy way.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, because I, as I've said, even though I've become a big fan since then, I will still say that like half of the stuff on most Judas Priest albums is just hard rock music and not metal.
Yeah.
But if you're going to call all of that metal, then all of Load is metal. So
yeah.
but I guess let's get into it. Let's get into ranking. So we decided to rank. What happened? What happened there?
Oh, I just realized that the sun was going down, so I flicked on my little box light here and make myself shiny. It's hot in here.
It's pretty hot in here too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I turn on my fan, but I don't want to right now.
Hey, bro, look at the sun. It's like looking at both of us right now, man.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's about to go down in your area.
Yeah, but we're all on the same planet, man. It's
yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget that you and I have never been in the same room before because we've known each other for such a long time now and talked so much that sometime I'll have to remind myself, oh yeah, I've never even been in the same country as you.
We're gonna make that happen someday.
Eventually, yeah. Anyway, so Load is 14 tracks, and so we're going to rank them from our least favorite to our most favorite. Like I said, this was difficult for some of this, but I'm happy with how it came out. So let's get started. As usual, the rankings. I throw it over to Eddie first. So what's your number 14 Load track?
Cool. This was a difficult ranking, but there were some I knew would be near the top and some I knew there would be near the bottom, and ultimately Poor Twisted Me ended up at the bottom of this ranking for me.
Okay.
Mainly because it's the song, I don't know, it feels like it moves the least across its runtime compared to the rest of the songs. It's got a cool, unique vibe to it, but that doesn't necessarily make it interesting to me to listen to compared to other tracks on this album. It's got that that is a cool idea.
Yeah.
And they kind of sit on a groove with it, but compared to the rest of this album, to me, that's always like, if anyone was going to put a gun to my head and say, hey, you got to remove one song from this album, this would probably be the one for me, because it's the least interesting to me sonically across the whole album, but I would still give it like a 6 in terms of how much I enjoy it. I still like it. I'm not upset that it's there, but I would probably notice it the least if it was gone.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I love all of these songs.
Yeah, me too.
In different ways. But my number 14 is Ronnie, which it's similar to what you said about Poor Twisted Me, although Poor Twisted Me has like more of like a fun character to it. Ronnie is just lyrically, I kind of get bored of the song, and then the riff. It's just one of many songs where they just took a little bluesy thing and made a song out of it, and it's not. It's on the album. It's cool. On its own, thinking about the song on its own, I'm all like, this is not a go-to song at all. But yeah, it's got its moments. But that's my number 14.
Cool. Okay, this next one, these bottom few kind of fight it out a little bit. But my number 13, I had to give it a lot of thought to this one, but my number 13 is Thorn Within.
Hey, that's my number 13 as well.
Hey, nice. So Thorn Within, I think it's got some interesting ideas going on in it. There's some softer sections with a lot of really nice Hetfield vocal maturity on it. Like there's a lot of cool things vocally on this album, like across all the songs.
Yeah.
But I had to really stop and think to myself, that riff, that
Yeah.
that is really the only thing I think about when it comes to this song. And I had to be honest with myself, as much of a riff fan as I am,
Yeah.
one great riff does not a great song make. And unfortunately, that song got bumped down here because I just happen to like the rest of this stuff a little more. But would I get rid of this one in a heartbeat? No, because that riff does fucking crush.
I've always really liked the verses.
Yeah, me too.
Because I like how on Load and Reload there's way more harmony in some of the vocals, and so I always liked the harmonies with the "Find me guilty when true guilt," that whole, and plus the vocal melody of that part. I'm all like, that to me is the more interesting part of the song. The riff, like that, that just sounds like another riff from some other song, and they just put that tail on it, which actually makes it kind of cool.
Yeah.
But and then you get to the chorus, and I've never been a fan, and they've done this on a couple songs. I've never been a fan of the quote unquote "I am" lyrics. So whatever you're like singing about, it's like, I am the sunshine, I am the moon, like, you know, those kind of lyrics.
I am the table,
or I am the tea, I am the table.
Sorry, I had to drop that.
Yeah, but like it's not just Metallica; it's any band that's ever done lyrics like that. I've always just been like, it feels kind of lazy, because like as a songwriter, I would think about that and go, I would never, like, that seems so lazy to just be like, I want to write a song about emptiness and loneliness, so the chorus is going to be, I am emptiness, I am lonely. You know, that just seems very boring. So, you know, I am the thorn within, fine. And then of course there's thorn within, struggle within. I'm like, everything's within. Come on, Metallica. But I like this song. Once again, this is, you know, there's, I guess my bottom three are all songs that in the context of the album, I go, yeah, this is cool. I like this song. But yeah, taking it out on its own, and I started to nitpick at it, I go, yeah, it's not one of my favorites, but it's got moments that I like. But yeah.
Cool.
Number 12.
That's number 12. So my number 12 is Ronnie.
Okay.
And I've always liked Ronnie. It's got some cool swaggering energy to it. I get where you're coming from, but I have always liked that there's like different sections in the parts with like different feels, and I really like that, like that like kind of stomp to it. It is a little bit. It's very cowboy.
Yeah.
And it's got that spaghetti western vibe to them that I think they like to indulge from time to time. But this song for me, I like it. It's a nice fun one before you close out with an epic, you know. So I've always thought the last two tracks on here in particular are very complementary to each other. Where you get Ronnie and it's like, okay, wait for this one, and then you get Outlaw Torn, which is just like 10 minutes long and it's fucking epic. But yeah, Ronnie, I like it, but again, it ended up lower down. So with that, over to you, my friend.
Cool. My number 12 is Cure, which is another one that within the album I like this song, but once again, the riff, that part there, I'm like, that feels like it's been done before. But I do like the, I guess it would be considered the pre-chorus. I'll crush your arms, take it to the cure, say, I do believe. That part, I love all that. Like, that section of the song, I think is fucking great. And then the chorus is okay. It's got its moments that I really like overall. But it's my experience with this album has always been the first half of the album for me flows like where it's just no time is fucking wasted, and Cure is the first song it comes to where I go, oh, okay, now I'm kind of taking a breather, because this is the first not so interesting track that's on the album. But I do like it. I just like it more in the context of the album and not really on its own as a song.
Cool. Well, that works out perfectly because my number 11 is Cure.
Nice.
And I actually did a last minute change there because I wasn't comfortable with the placings I'd done initially anyway, and that swayed it.
Yeah.
So Cure for me is a song that I'd slept on for quite a while, and even though it's not rising to the top for me, there's a lot of cool parts in here. It's pretty rudimentary in terms of like riffs and stuff, but at the same time it doesn't need to be super technical or super lots going on all the way through. And I'm with you that like I do believe section is cool as fuck. So yeah, you pretty much said everything I was going to say though. So my number 11 is Cure.
Cool. My number 11 is Wasting My Hate, which
really
is a really fun track. And honestly, this was an early favorite of mine because I really like, there's riffing in it that is very unlike anything Metallica had done up to that point.
Yeah.
Like during the verses, that that's very different, but also the it's very not like what Metallica had done before. So I think initially I really liked that about the song. I think the thing that knocks it down a few notches for me is the lyrics have always been the good day, how do, that whole thing. I'm just like, it's a little bit cheesy, but
fair.
I mean, it's so weird when I have to like say anything picking apart these albums because I love seriously everything Metallica's ever done.
Yeah.
But I guess when you love a band that much, there's got to be a point where you go, well, if I had to have any criticisms, what would they be? And with Wasting My Hate, it's like I like the energy of the song, and I do like that. Like it's a cool riff, but yeah, it's not perfect. It's got things about it that I think could have been better, but it's still great. It's still a fun song. It's a very fun song. So that's my number 11.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I've got a little opinion I'll get to with that track, because number 10 is "Ain't My Bitch."
Whoa, that's pretty low for this one, but yeah.
Yeah, and when I was listening to the album, I thought to myself, is this Metallica's weakest opening track on an album? Like, I like the song, but in terms of comparing it to all of the other albums, I mean, I think Fuel is a better opener than Ain't My Bitch. I've given it some thought. Frantic, That Was Just Your Life, Hardwired, 72 Seasons, and that's the latter half.
I don't love Hardwired.
Yeah,
I would put Ain't My Bitch above Hardwired as an opener.
Okay.
Although, like, Hardwired pleased a lot of people because they had the galloping beat in it, and it was fast. But Ain't My Bitch is a pretty fucking muscular boy. Like, just I always really liked it. Brings the weight of the album immediately.
It does. It does show off that, Yeah. However, there's probably like a minute of this song you could have shaved off for like brevity's sake. There's like that whole added section at the end where like you think the song's over and it comes back in. But I don't know. I think when you want an opening track that's upbeat, I would have gone for Wasting My Hate over this because.
But the beginning of it's pretty weak though, of Wasting My Hate.
But it's got that. It builds a bit of tension there.
I do love the way they play the riff in the beginning though. I do like that. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's
Hey, look, Metallica are millionaires and I'm not. And they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
However, were I behind sequencing the album, I would have probably shaved a minute off of Ain't My Bitch, probably end it where it sounds like it's ended, I know that it's fun to do a fake ending every once in a while, but I think the song's just fine there. Not shitting on the track at all. I just like the songs above it more than it. So
I think that "Ain't My Bitch" is the one that on the box set there's a version of the song where it's just bass guitar at the beginning. It's I think that's the one.
Oh wow!
There's one of the songs on Load where the early mix, like not even a demo, an early mix of the song is bass by itself.
Wow.
I think that's the one. Anyway, okay, that was number 10 you're on?
Yeah, number 10.
My number 10 is Mama Said.
Okay.
Which this is a very weird song for me because I love the idea of this song on this album. I love it that they did it because I'm all about bands just if this song comes out of us, in this case, of James, and they think it's good, just put it out. Like, who the fuck cares? The thing that I noticed for the first time listening to this song, when I was trying to rank it, I'd never really thought about it until I was ranking these songs. I was listening to the song and I go, you know what? Like, comparatively speaking, there's only one other song to compare Mama Said to, and that is Nothing Else Matters. Those are the only, fully, for the most part, soft, acoustic or whatever songs, which, and Nothing Else Matters is, to me, as much as it's overplayed and I get tired of hearing it sometimes, it's so fucking well written and so beautiful.
It
Mama Said, the chorus is a little bit of a letdown for me. Because if you take the slide guitar out of it, which by the way is the only thing that makes it a country song. Like, nothing about this song is country. It is just a regular acoustic ballad. But
that and the music video.
That too. But if you take that out, there's not a lot going on in the chorus, and I don't love it. I do love the, what would you call it, the middle eight, even though it's like, it's not really a middle eight because love that part.
Yeah.
But that's repeated, so it's not really a middle eight. It's repeated. It's like a post-chorus or whatever.
Chorus 2.
Chorus part 2. But yeah,
it's a chorus 2.
So breaking the song down, I'm like, I love the emotion in the song. I love it's a beautiful song, but I was like, I don't love the chorus.
Okay.
Not that I don't love like the point he's trying to get across. It's just it's a little bit too
mellow.
No.
There's
not enough in lyrically or melodically going on. It's which, I mean, it's good, but I kind of wish that there was a little bit more to the chorus than that. But that's only because I'm having to nitpick. Other than that, it's a beautiful song. I love the slide guitar part in the middle section. I don't know if that's Kirk doing it or if that's James, but that little section, it's kind of like going into the last chorus or the last chorus too. I've always like, that's so good. But taken out of context, once again, this is not a go-to song. This is not, I'm going to go listen to Mama Said. It's cool on the album, but it's not necessarily a go-to track that has enough going on. It's not
pulling you back in on its own.
No, but I love it. It's just, so that's my number 10.
Okay, my number 9. Oh, hit the button. You got the button for...
Oh, shit.
I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, a number 7, 2 number 45s, 1 with cheese, and a large soda.
Nice. Cool.
Right.
Nice. We're going to remember that whenever there's a number 9.
Yes,
hit the number 9.
Thank you for reminding me.
Okay, my number 9 is... See, this is why this ranking is so hard, because this song feels like it should be higher. My number 9 is The House Jack Built.
Yeah, for me, that's way low for this song.
It's hard, man. It's hard. Yeah, the house Jack built clocks in at number 9 for me. I love the like Alice in Chainsiness to this song. There's like a full on. And that
Oh yeah,
like that sounds like someone off of Dirt.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And I love those like kind of fucked up like or kind of talk boxy things going in, swirling around the vocals as well. Love that. This is a song that grew on me over the years a lot, and like once I got into grunge, it got a new lease on life for me. But there's just something so just dripping in Seattle influence on this track. I just fucking love it.
Yeah,
it's great. Honestly, I'm gonna let you carry that one because I know you feel very passionately about the house Jack built.
My number 9 is Poor Twisted Me.
Okay.
Which probably out of all these songs is the last one that I think is better on the album than outside of the album. But Poor Twisted Me ticks that box for me where it's different and fun. Like it almost feels like it wasn't necessarily supposed to be a song, but it had such a cool vibe to it that they shaped it into a song. And I've always loved that because that's not, once again, not a thing that Metallica are known for. They have prior to this, they have songs where that shit you can hear the scrutinizing detail of them, figuring out how many times to do what part or what leads into
surgical precision.
Like, and so Poor Twisted Me, I love it because it really, out of all the songs on this album, it feels the most jammy. Like,
it's loose.
This is just kind of a cool vibe, and I've always really liked the use of the distorted vocals on it.
Yeah.
Any chance
tripod.
Yeah, any chance for Metallica to kind of just push the envelope into some sort of direction that they don't normally do, it usually makes me pretty happy. But not a lot to this song, but I do like the vibe a lot. So my number 9 is Poor Twisted Me.
Cool. So my number 8 is Mama Said.
All right.
I like Mama Said. I like the kind of tragic cowboy aesthetic to this song. It's got that kind of, I used to call this Metallica's country song, but really what you said does sum it up. The only thing that makes it country is that slide guitar.
Yeah.
And by extension, the imagery of the music video leaning into that,
Yeah.
But I definitely sense that James is channeling his inner Johnny Cash on this one, where there's a singer-songwriter approach to this song that transcends a Metallica as a band song. This is very much a James with a lone spotlight on him on a bar stool playing this song.
But doesn't it make you wonder, like, how many more songs like this has he written over the years that just never saw the light of day?
See, that's what I'm so interested in, is that I wonder if, James has a history of being like, side projects and going to take away from the structural integrity of the band. It would be like cheating on your spouse. But I'm sure his opinion on that has softened over the years. I mean, with Kirk Hammett doing his solo horror soundtracky vibe stuff.
Yeah.
And that initial control freakness around the Echo Brain situation with Jason led to Jason leaving the band. And Metallica have been through more therapy than we can shake a stick at, but at the end of the day, I think that James Hetfield could come out and do an album of this style and fucking nail it.
Do you want to know something interesting? That this has just been on my mind, so I'm going to bring it up now.
Go for it.
So, it was some article or something that I read recently where Jason Newsted talked about how one of the biggest issues that led to him leaving the band was apparently that he wanted to go into rehab.
Oh.
Hold on. But here's my problem. That may be true. And it also may be true that the Echo Brain thing got in the way. I think it's a multitude of things. But he seemed to say that he told them he needed some time for rehab and they said no.
Damn.
And I thought, if that's the case, that's kind of shitty. But I'm like, Jason, aren't you the same dude that when they said they wanted to bring in a therapist, you said
it's fucking lame.
Yeah, this is fucking lame. I'm like, well, who are you really? Like with 30 years or whatever, almost 30 years of hindsight, you can say, well, the problem was I wanted to go into rehab. But like things like this, I'm always just like, who communicated well with each other? Like, I have a feeling that all of these things went into play, but they seem like dudes who do not communicate well with each other. So I think a lot of it was that. But unfortunately, like, modern music journalism takes things and runs with it. Like, the big issue is they didn't want me to go into rehab. And I'm all like, was it really? I'm not saying that he was at fault or they were at fault. I think they all were at fault because, except for Kirk.
Yeah.
Kirk is good to go. But like, I think everybody had their issues. But I just found it interesting that the guy that was talking shit about them wanting to have a therapist is now saying, well, the problem is I wanted to go into therapy for drug abuse or alcohol abuse or whatever he was abusing. And I'm just like, that's a little convenient to say something like that.
One of my favorite scenes from Some Kind of Monster is that bit where like Kirk is trying
He fucking left the band!
And
I love
that
bit. Yeah, I love that part where like Kirk is clearly trying to be the mediator between James and Lars. He's like, "Come on, guys, let's just get in there and just jam it out." And and Lars said, "Well, you're just sitting here being a complete dick," right to James, and Kirk just goes,
Yes.
visibly face palms.
One of many amazing Kirk Hammett moments in that movie.
Yeah, that and Kirk.
Yes.
Kirk. Kirk. Hello.
My favorite is still that one where like James is talking about like, I don't want to like come into something with something kind of already decided and I wasn't a part of it. And Kirk's like, well, that was kind of just me for the last 30 years.
Yeah,
it's like, yes, Kirk.
Kirk's got some dubs in there for sure.
Yeah,
Kirk definitely came across as the easiest to be around during that time.
Yeah. And like that moment in the movie where he basically says, I want to get my ego as little as it can possibly be. I believe that about him. He does not want to be perceived as somebody that thinks that they're special or cool or whatever.
No,
he's just like, I just am who I am, dudes. So anyway,
and he happens to be Kirk fucking Hammett from Metallica, which is that's great. He's always struck me as very authentic.
Yeah, just a good dude. But yeah. Anyway, that just was in my head because you mentioned the Echo Brain thing, and I'm just like, I think that as I don't know, as fans of music, we need to stop simplifying issues in bands.
Yeah,
I just think that reading one article does not like the same. All of those things, like literally every time Jason Newsted brought up, you have one person who brings up the bass in Injustice for All. You have another person that brings up the fact that they hazed him when he first joined the band. But they'll take that and they'll generalize it as they were so rude to him this entire time in the band. I'm like, no, they weren't. He's a millionaire, and they cut him into that. And they were great together. Like the hazing was like that first tour for the most part. Yeah. And so, but I just think that like as fans, I would like to normalize simplifying things because at the end of the day, these are human beings who are actually faced with a lot more pressures than we're ever going to know. Yeah. So I don't know how I would react to being in one of the biggest bands in the fucking world. Yeah. Especially if I was a person who was the songwriter also, it's, talking about James. Like, what kind of fucking pressure is that? Like, when's the new Metallica album coming out? And know you're the dude that writes the bulk of it?
Yeah. Following up, the Black Album.
Yeah.
And B, doing a complete 180 stylistically, but knowing it's true to them.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say it as well. Like, the Newsted era of the band is my favorite lineup of the band. Like
same here.
Like, Justice and Black Album in particular, that is just a well-oiled fucking machine. Like, no shade to Cliff, love what Cliff did.
Oh, hell yeah.
But
absolutely.
But, sad that he's gone, but the reality we got involved Jason Newsted coming in, and Jason fucking brought it. And do you know what? A line that lives rent-free in my head, I think it's from like the Metallica Classic Albums episode they did, where I think that's where the blow-up between him and James happened, was following it was that day.
Oh,
and it was following the recording, or like before it. I don't know. There's a certain tense atmosphere when you watch that, knowing that going over again.
I haven't seen that in years. I need to watch that again.
Yeah, once there is a definite, oh man, there's something under the hood here. But the thing about Jason that struck me was, I think he said something like, in relation to what you were mentioning about that pressure, he said that this is not a job you can call in sick to. You go out there and there's thousands of fucking people every night, and you're going to kick their ass or something like that. Doesn't matter how ill you are, you get on that stage. And he, of all of them, right?
Yeah.
You look at the way he fucking moved. I mean, no wonder the dude had surgery and also beat throat cancer.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Also. That's secret battle that as well. So, the dude is a fucking warrior.
Yeah, and I'll still to this day say that, like, if I was able to go back in time and see the band, I would go to see them in like 1992. I think that's peak live Metallica.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, where were we?
Where was I?
Number 8.
Yeah, I just did Mama Said.
Okay. My number 8 is The Outlaw Torn.
Oh, nice. That one's...
And I love this. I love this song, but the only thing that keeps it from being higher is that it fits too much right next to Bleeding Me, where I feel like they wrote these songs in the one long jam session.
Yeah. Fixer included in that as well.
With Fixer as well. But I love Outlaw Torn. Like, it's great. I love the kind of, vibey middle section. With the like, those, that guitar shit. Yeah. Really, the only thing I can say about this song is I really like it, but Bleeding Me is like far superior in my eyes. But it's great. I don't know what else. I feel like you can talk about more when we get to Outlaw Torn.
Cool.
What's your number 7?
My number 7 is Wasting My Hate. Mm-hmm. And I love this song. I love how it opens. I love the variations on the riff. I love the changes, going from halftime and stuff like that. I love it. It's such an energetic song, and it's the shortest song on the album as well. Mm-hmm. And it's a well-needed kick up the ass at this point in the album, where you've got a lot of mid-tempo, and there's nothing wrong with that on an album of songs that all take a different approach to mid-tempo songs. But it's nice to have that kick up the rear late album when you're like, oh man, I've been in this zone for a while, and then you get back to here. It's okay, we're rocking again. Of course, then it's immediately followed by Mama Said, which is the slowest song on the album. But there's a nice variation in things going on this album. Yeah. There's a lot to it. And it all sounds fantastic. Yes. My favorite era of Metallica's production is probably the Black Album. That sonically is my favorite sounding Metallica album next to maybe Ride the Lightning.
Yeah.
And Master of Puppets, really.
Yeah.
I like them all for different reasons, but like, you know, if someone came up to me and said, Load is the best sounding Metallica album, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Can't argue with
It's
that.
like, you know, people often pick apart Metallica's production from like the 80s and the 2000s. Metallica has a lot of production, quote unquote, faux pas, as many like to call them. And, you know, and the last two albums have largely rectified any of those. But
honestly, my biggest gripe production wise of any Metallica album is the drum sound on Hardwired to Self-Destruct.
Really?
It's too clickety clacky.
Yeah.
I don't know. The kick drum's too clicky. The snare drum sounds kind of thin. It always really bothered me because they put his drums so high up in the mix. I'm just like, these need to be beefier than this. I'm used to beefy Metallica drums. So honestly, that's my biggest production issue on any Metallica album.
Yeah, my favorite sounding album since the Load era has been, or maybe even since the Black Album, is 72 Seasons. I love how
it sounds great. Yeah.
That one, to me, like the thing that sets that one apart from Hardwired is the fact that they've upped a little bit of the space again.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like they're in more of a large ambient whole as opposed to I am hyper aware this is a studio recording.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, even the Black Album doesn't sound like that. But anyway, what I was saying is basically if someone turned around and said the Load Reload are the two best sounding Metallica albums, I'd be like, yeah, if you're talking just straight beef,
yeah,
absolutely. But in terms of production, Metallica fucking killed it in the 90s. I've heard nobody talks about this era and mentions the production.
Yeah.
You know, that is one unfuckwithable thing about 90s Metallica is it sounds fucking good.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing that I would like for them to do. I would like for them to do another album with Bob Rock before they call it quits, because I think sonically he brought out the best sound for the band.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. Yeah, but like I say, Wasting My Hate is a nice, well-needed kick up the ass late into the album. I would have opened the album with it personally and probably switched its place with Ain't My Bitch, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
Interesting though, but my number 7 is Ain't My Bitch.
Okay, cool.
Which I love it as an opener, and that's the big thing for me is that the way that it kicks this album off, it almost feels like a mission statement in a way where it's almost just getting rid of the people that just want the same old immediately. Like I just love the fact that it was divisive when I heard it, and I grew to love it, but now I love the fact that it's so just like, you know what? Fuck off. This is what the Metallica album sounds like. And I just kind of love that kicking in the door kind of thing with it. And over the years, I've really grown to love when Hetfield leans into the Hetfieldisms. Mm-hmm. So whenever he does bitcha, when he does that, that makes my heart happy. Your luck runs out. Like when he does stuff like that, I'm just like, I'm on board for this. So I love that as well. Energetic song, fun song. I've always really liked Ain't My Bitch. It's just a cool opener. So, but I love the fucking 6 songs. Can we get to a point where I'm going to get into like songwriting and how as a songwriter, I'm impressed by some of these songs, but Ain't My Bitch is just fun. So I have it at number 7.
One fun little anecdote I always think about is watching Cunning Stunts for the first time and hearing that voice crack in Ain't My Bitch. Do you remember that? Yeah, what's the line? It's like, damn it on down. Yeah. Damn it on, Bo. It's in there.
There was a lot of voice cracking on that tour. Yeah. Because, I mean, he had fucked up his voice prior to that, so we were hearing the results of that.
But I appreciate it, you know, that they didn't go back in and fix it.
That is one thing I have to say is that even up until this most recent, like the box sets and the Metallica Vinyl Club and all of that stuff, they don't go in and edit out mistakes.
No.
They have never done that. In fact, sometimes they'll highlight mistakes. Like there's, I think it's on. It might be on one of the Vinyl Club releases where they put a version of them doing one of their songs where they accidentally skip over an entire section of the song. And in the notes, Lars is talking about, we managed to shorten this song by like a minute and a half. But so many other bands, I mean, notably Megadeth. Megadeth will re-record an entire live show. So like if you hear a Megadeth live album, it's not. It's been re-recorded. Especially Dave Mustaine's vocals. I have it from an insider in the fucking industry that he'll go into a studio and completely re-record the vocals. So do what you will with that. That's why if you watched the Big Four in the theater,
I knew you were going to say this.
His voice wasn't very good at all. But then you get the DVD of the Big Four and you're like, hey, he sounds pretty good. Because he went into the studio and re-recorded all of the vocals. So probably other things as well. Now, that being said, we talk about live albums we love, like Kiss Alive, that there's all sorts of studio punch-ins and overdues and shit.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that to highlight the fact that Metallica do not do that. So if Lars makes a mistake, it's in the which he does. He makes mistakes. It's in there. When Kirk makes mistakes, it's in there. It's like it's all there.
Yeah. Oh, snare fill went on a little long there.
Yep.
Usually.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were talking about your song.
No, I was done with "Ain't My Bitch," and you were on to
number 6.
You're number 6.
With extra dip. My number 6 with extra dip is 2x4.
Hey, that's my number 6 also.
Hey, nice. Now, I always thought, A, it's got 2 in it, but B, it is a perfect second track.
Yeah.
You know, this song is the perfect pull to the Ain't My Bitches push.
Yes.
You know, you've had the upbeat one, and it's like, you thought that sounded beefy? Fucking listen to this. Awesome.
And I've always loved how like James kind of leaned into the swing of it with his vocals. I'm gonna make you take you, whatever. You know, it's like I just like, for some reason I've been like, I feel like a lot of the vocals he just kind of let the song dictate like what needed to happen and didn't really second guess it much.
What's that backing vocal as well? Retribution. Yeah.
I love that kind of shit. Yeah. Once again, another that of at the time this came out, a thing that they had not really done before.
Yeah.
Fucking with vocals like that. So yeah.
Me likey. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've always loved the riff. It's really cool, kind of simple, but it's one of those, if you pull out a guitar and you learn how to play it, it's fun. It just sounds it's fun to play.
It definitely sounds like Metallica were. I mean, they toured the Black Album for like 5 years, and they were almost bored of being Metallica to the point where they were like, "Fuck it, what are we listening to? All right, Corrosion of Conformity, Alice in Chains. Let's throw that in a blender and see what comes out with us playing it." And 2x4 is a perfect example of that. Yeah. It's got the sleazy Southern feeling riffage, but it's also got that alternative vibe. Over all of it, really. It's all got a great vibe to it. So yeah, I mean, 2x4, it's perfect on the album. Love it. Love this song.
Yeah, love it too. I guess that was our joint number 6. It brings you to number 5.
Okay, now this is where things got tricky. My number 5 is Until It Sleeps.
Yeah, that's not my number 5, but this is where it gets difficult for me.
Yeah, because I'm proud to say that the album singles ended up, for the most part, in the top 5, save for one. But one's not on this album. Anyway, Until It Sleeps. I remember this was a song that I really paid attention to first when I got the DVD Metallica, the videos, 89 to 2004 for my 12th birthday.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there watching all of these music videos and getting to this is the first short hair era one, and just thinking, I was just completely mesmerized by like the stylistic choices in the music video.
That was another thing.
A lot of imagery there. Yeah.
It was also them going down a very different route video wise. Where they were leaning into what a lot of other artists, not just bands, but artists were doing, where it was a more, for lack of a better term, artsy. Which, like, that's an era of music video that I miss, where it was the era of MTV where they would put the director of the video at the bottom of the credits, which they didn't do in the 80s. But it was the era where directors were important, where they would have a concept, they would make essentially like a short film for the song and find ways to incorporate the band. I absolutely miss that. Now, it couldn't happen again these days because you need to have a budget. Yeah. Because, like, unfortunately, a lot of this kind of stuff that I loved from the 90s, as good as an iPhone camera is now, it's going to take a lot for you to really capture the cool vibe of a lot of those 90s videos. You can try to do it all you want, but it's always going to look a little bit cheap and a little bit cheesy. But
there was money behind this.
There was money. Yeah. There were videos that cost $1 million or plus to make. And I miss that. But Until It Sleeps is a good example of that. Right smack in the middle of that era where, like, you know, it might as well have been like Heart-Shaped Box by Nirvana. Both videos where there's a visual concept. It's very, there's an artistic feel to it, but also the band is incorporated into it. And I love it. I love that shit.
Hell yeah. Cool.
I'm sorry.
No. You
not even talking about that song yet, and I just jumped in.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I've pretty much covered it. The main thing, though, that I always thought was cool was that the fretless bass.
Yes.
Burning.
Yep, love it.
I love fretless bass.
The first music you hear from Metallica after the Black Album starts with Lars and Jason.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And the guitar tone as well. That.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cool.
Going to another video, though. My number 5 is King Nothing.
Okay, nice.
Which, this is when it's weird. I love this song so much, but I figured out that I love this song because it is an amazing live track. Anytime they play this song live, it's great. On the album, it's still really great, but there are other songs that I may not love so much as much live that took, you know, place above this one. But King Nothing has this great stomp to it. Once again, Jason fully on display, doing that little tiny bit of a disco vibe with that birdie. Yeah. I've always loved that. That's the one that, like, I have a bass guitar back there, and I will pick that sucker up and I will play the King Nothing bass line because it is fun as fuck to play that.
Dude, I was playing it on my acoustic bass the other day.
Yeah.
Fun as hell.
So, really, like, King Nothing is an amazing song, but I think out of the 4 that are above it, it's the more straightforward of these top 5. So that's why it ends up being number 5. But this song is still just such a badass fucking song. It is. Yeah. I love the lyrics to this song. This song lyrically to me feels more in line with what they had done previously. Like, there are certain songs on this album where lyrically it's not that far removed from the Black Album. But then, of course, you got Ain't My Bitch and 2x4, which feel very, like, removed from the Black Album. But, yeah, King Nothing is a great... And I love the video, too. I love it's just the band, you know, playing in snow, but the artistic, you know, flourishes with, you know, camera focusing and all these different editing tricks and stuff that are in it. It's a very cool video, very cool song. I think, literally the only thing that this has taking it away from being higher is the fact that it is, for the most part, more straightforward than the top 4. But God, it's fucking great. So I don't know what's your number 4?
Okay, my number 4 is The Outlaw Torn.
Nice. Okay.
So for me, this one was a huge grower over the years, but now it's one of my favorites on the album because every time I listen to it, because it's such a sprawling track with so many, I mean, it sits in one vibe pretty much throughout, but it it pushes and then it pulls right back.
Yeah.
There's quiet parts. There's bits where those quiet parts explode into. It's one of those songs where I'll think to myself, man, it's been a while since a song has made my hair stand on end.
Yeah.
And one specific part in this song is where that like slide guitar halfway through, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking wicked.
Yeah. Also another song though where I almost feel like if you haven't done it already, do yourself a favor. I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking like the audience. Go listen to Load, especially, and just pay attention to Jason Newsted.
Oh, like, killing it, laying it down.
Like it feels like they just sort of let him out of his cage and do what you feel you want to do on these songs. And he does so much cool bass guitar work on this album.
Yeah. It's complemented especially by that production as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He just sounds meaty. It's just, I picture him on this like fucking Rambo, just like carrying the entire thing, you know, without those heavy bass lines. So good. It's such a cool song.
So, you know, not to interrupt you, but there's something about one of the tracks that I wanted to point out that I forgot to point out. Because going back a little bit to Wasting My Hate, the fucking synthesizer underneath the verses. Have you ever heard that?
During
Wasting My Hate. Wasting My Hate. During the verses, there's the first part of a verse, and then there's the second part of the verse, and you'll hear this. You hear this like synthesizer underneath.
Hang on. This is a live reaction from me right now.
I don't know if it's on the first verse, but go to at least the second verse. In the second half of that verse, you'll hear the keyboard come in underneath. It's like a synthesizer underneath. And maybe it's strings. I don't know. It sounds like synth to me.
Okay, I'm gonna have a quick listen.
Okay, sorry to derail us, but that's just something that I meant. Oh, talk about that because I've always really liked that.
Okay.
Okay, he's listening to the song.
I'm listening.
Okay. I'm going to talk because I don't want us to be blocked from the YouTube or the podcast. So here's where he's listening to stuff. He's listening to the song.
Yeah, I do hear something, but is it a bass or a guitar through like a cool pedal or something?
Oh, I don't know. I always thought it was a synth.
It's definitely got like kind of like a good. What? Yeah, there's like a growl under it.
Yeah.
There's like a growling kind of, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, because I was just thinking about things that pop up in the songs that are interesting, and that's one of them. Anyway, I'm sorry. You were on Outlaw Torn.
Actually, funny you should say that before I carry on. I noticed there's like an extra synth part in Underwater Love by Faith No More that I just never noticed before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You did a full-on Chuck Mosley. Oh, really? Right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was perfect. Yeah, if you listen to Underwater Love, and I think it's in the right can. If you're like listening to it, it's like kind of like a. There's so many layers.
Listen to that again.
Like, there's so many layers at the end of that song, and like generally your ear is drawn towards what Jim is doing on the guitar, because Mike's doing his croon thing. Like, he's not pulling focus. The guitar really is the main focus, but there's so many synth layers going on in that song. I think the dogs are fans of Faith No More as well.
The dog pound got let out apparently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well. I know who let the dogs out. It was my wife.
Cool. But anyway,
Outlaw Torn.
Where was it? Outlaw Torn. It's just such a like mighty song. Like when you put that song on and it comes in, it's
Yeah.
and then when it really opens up, there's like really sparse sections, and then
Yeah.
when they come in with the those, it just goosebumps.
Yeah.
I love that song, and it's a perfect closer as well. Like it is. Hey, you know those 13 other songs that were like really good? Check this one out.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty much. If this song has yet to grow on you, get out there and listen to it right after this. This is your homework for the week.
I love how this worked out because for my number 4, it's the twin brother, Bleeding Me.
That one's my number 3.
Oh, nice.
So we can camp out in the Bleeding.
I feel the same way about Bleeding Me. Bleeding Me gives me goosebumps because I love the way it begins and ends. Everything about it is it's really great, and I always loved the chorus of the song. And I've always loved the mid riff part.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, the first time I heard this album, like it really stood out as a song that I liked, but it also made it to where Outlaw Torn was a one that took a while to come around to me because it was too similar to Bleeding Me. But now, like, when I think about them, they feel so different that I'm just like, it feels like they came out of the same jam session, but they really did kind of craft them into their own thing. But Bleeding Me is just like absolutely amazing. I love James's vocals in the song, and everything about it is just fucking great. The vibe of it is amazing. I really wish that they did more songs like this. The closest thing that they've done recently is the how do you say it? Inamorata, or how do you say that fucking name? Inamorata has kind of a vibe that's bordering on this.
Yeah. I would say it's like that's like a cross between Bleeding Me or Outlaw Torn, Fixer, and My Friend of Misery. Like I always got
and he says misery in the song.
Yeah, and there's that cool like that bit in there always reminds me of the solo from My Friend of Misery.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that gives me chills as well. Imagine having a catalog this stacked, man. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, my number 4, Bleeding Me. Your number 3 is Bleeding Me, correct? Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah. It's great. All the way from that kind of like that kind of psychedelic guitar. It's kind of like a more overtly grooved up love hate love kind of vibe, where it's like we're in a clean guitar, that everything's really spooky and grungy, and a big thing that stands out to me on this: A, Lars using a ride cymbal, and B, that Hammond organ sound going through.
Yeah.
That's such a cool thing. Like, Metallica is not a keyboards band.
No.
So to hear that in there, it's like, oh.
Yep.
Oh. You know? Save for maybe the start of Phantom Lord all the way back then. But then,
yeah.
that's only like one note.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great song as well. But yeah, Bleeding Me, it's such a big, chunky song. But something that stands out to me is that it was never officially released as a single, but they felt so strongly about this song that they actually sent out a promotional CD to radio stations in '97, and it actually reached 6 on the US mainstream rock chart, which was, I mean, the song's good.
Yeah.
And they knew it, you know?
Yeah, it's great.
You know, it is hard to sell an 8-minute song as a single.
True.
But, Yeah, it's great.
I mean,
It's great
but
stuff.
just only 5 years prior, they had singles that were 6 minutes long. So
Yeah.
they did great.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Cool. My number 3.
Yeah. sorry. I was going to say, anything else you'd like to add to Bleeding Me?
No. Let's move on because you did. Your number 3 is Bleeding Me. My number 3 is Until It Sleeps,
Cool.
which I've always just thought is such a really well written song, and releasing it as the first single was a really great move in my opinion because it really set the mood for the album. But I've always, I like the songs that sound a little bit different, and Until It Sleeps is the only song they've done that sounds like this. And everything about it, the vibe of this song is so great, but I've always really loved the guitar work in it, the harmony vocals on it, on the verses and everything. It just feels, it's such like a perfectly done song, which like always kind of blows me away because the confidence that they had in putting together a song like this, and it doesn't sound like they're second guessing a moment of this track.
Yeah.
And
And it's not a metal song either, really.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's an alternative rock.
And I've always really liked in the would you call it a chorus? It grips you, so hold me. That part is that a chorus?
I guess.
But I've always really liked sort of a incremental or notes when vocal lines do that. So it stains you, so hold me, like that part. I've always really liked that kind of vocal line, and they do it so well in this song. It's still because this song out of all of them has the most nostalgia for me because it was the first one I heard, and just stands out. Everything about it stands out. The song, the video, everything about it. I just feel like it's such a statement from the band, and it's just one of the many things that I love this band for is doing this particular song and video. But the two above it to me are like, let's just move on. What's your number 2?
Okay, so my number 2 is Hero of the Day.
Okay.
So, Hero of the Day, I love Hero of the Day for several reasons. I love the way it builds. It does that incremental thing where it slowly adds more parts as it builds up and builds up.
Yeah.
And it really crescendos at the end with the double bass, bringing the double bass in. It's ass kicker of a song. But a thing that stands out to me is the fact that it's in a major key. And Metallica are not ashamed to play it. You know, in stark contrast, back when they did Escape, it was like, oh, we've got a chorus in a major key. Fuck, the Poser Patrol is going to kill us. And now Ride the Lightning is held on this like pedestal, and Escape is a song on it.
People still talk shit about that song.
Yeah, so. James himself says he doesn't like that song, but on behalf of Cranked and Ranked, Escape is.
We know that James has been wrong about something one time.
Yeah, it turns out he is not, in fact, a table. Anyway,
that too. He's also not a table.
I like the table meme. So anyway, where was I? Hero of the Day.
Yes,
it's fucking great, dude. Like they don't have another song like it. I can't think of another song like it. Full stop.
I feel like there's several songs on this album that are like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I can't think of another metal band that has managed to have a song that sounds almost happy in the verses and erupt successfully and sound seamless with like a heavy part towards the end. Mm-hmm. But it's just epic. Yeah. This song is geniusly crafted, and it's like nothing they've done or did since. Yeah. It really is its own vibe, and I love that they got kind of tongue-in-cheek with the music video as well.
It's a fun music video, yeah.
It is a fun video. There's a dude watching TV, and he's just like channel surfing, and the different members are just playing parts. Kirk Hammett's a game show host, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
No, that's Jason.
Wait, no, that's Jason. Yeah, no, Kirk's the news guy, right?
Yeah,
Is Lars the cowboy, or is it James?
Lars is the like the bandito looking guy, isn't he?
Yeah, let me look it up. Oh, is it Hero of the Day? Metallica.
I mean, they're all in, like, you know, the game show part, the whole band is in.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, you know, the teenage guy that's in the video, like he's invites a lady over, they do it on the bed, and then my favorite thing is the video ends where he just, like, a fucking thing crawls out of his fucking head, and I'm just like, that was so weird, and I love it. Like, no explanation, none needed, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's awesome. I might have to watch that after this.
Yeah.
I did like that the title of, like, the Western movie was called Load.
Yeah,
that was a cool touch.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the 90s kicked ass in terms of, like, the way bands presented themselves.
Yes,
there was a lot of subversion of expectation
because the success of the music industry encouraged bands to I don't know, be creative. Thank you, that's perfect. Which now it's like nobody wants anyone to be creative except for me, apparently. I'm on an island by myself.
No, you're not. You're not. I'm there too. Hello.
Hello. The Cranky Island, join us. Are you done with your number 2?
Yeah, I'm done with my number 2.
All right. So yeah, both these songs. Yeah, my number 2 is The House Jack Built. Every time I listen to House Jack Built, as the song plays out, there are all these different things that happen that I just go, that's fucking great. It is such a well done song. But first of all, it's another riff that's very unlike Metallica, that sounded very different at the time. But I like in the verses how James does these other almost like sort of ghostly sounding vocals where you hear him go, open my eyes, and it's in the background kind of sounding like otherworldly. But then you get to like the chorus, which everything is kind of at a different rhythm, but at the same rhythm. I don't know. I'm not technically smart enough to explain what it is, but the riff is that, and the drums are still kind of doing the 4/4 thing, and then his vocals over it. The higher you are, the farther you. He's doubling up on the syllables, but the way that whole thing sounds, I go, that is fucking great.
Yeah,
I love how that's all put together, because it's being a fucking songwriter for the majority of my life. I love hearing something and I go, I wouldn't have thought to do that vocal over that riff.
Yeah.
I love hearing things like that, especially when it's successful and it sounds good. And I go, oh man, because like my brain is always listening to a song going, well, here's where it's going to go. Here's what this is going to sound like. I don't mean to do it, but I have a brain that thinks that way. And so, the House Jack Built is a song that still today, I know the song so well, but I'll hear it and I'll be like, God, so great that they took that path with this. On top of it, fucking love the Talkbox solo. Talkbox solo is so good. But yeah, just overall, the whole vibe of this song is it's dark, but not in a metal kind of way.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's like the top 3, my top 3 songs are all 3 songs where I go, Metallica never did a song like this again, but they nailed this version of the song. But yeah, House Jack Built is great. onto your number
Yeah.
one. Number one.
Okay, my number one is King Nothing.
All right.
I love King Nothing. I adore this song. It's the sound I think of when I think of Load. It's
yeah, I can see that.
The cool, bouncy, heavy, well-produced, great sounding, killing it live.
Oh, yeah.
Metallica.
The thing is, I've at this point, I've heard some of the songs so many times, and I've seen them live so many times that, like, when they get to like playing something like, Master of Puppets or whatever, I'm probably singing along a little bit, but my enthusiasm, yelling out, "Where's your crown, King?" like that every fucking time. That is a song that, like, I am belting out that song every time with them. Love it. It's a great live song.
It's fantastic. I love that song, and I love during this time as well. Like, Metallica weren't afraid to get a little fun with it, and they did the "Off to Never Neverland" at the end as well. It's a kind of meta, self-referential, fourth wall breaking stuff going on. It's really cool to hear from a band, especially nowadays when, like, metal bands are they apply so many arbitrary fucking rules to themselves, where it's like, well, we are this genre, so we have to have this, and this, and we're not allowed to do this, and this. Whereas, it's just be a fucking band. If you want to do a Backstreet Boys song every whip and flip, fucking do it. I don't care. If anything, I welcome that kind of haphazard, I don't give a fuck vibe these days, especially with how fucking boring the mainstream can be sometimes. I very much get the vibe that, this has been the case for a long time, but especially with modern recording techniques and stuff, there are so many things throughout history you could say, oh, that sounds similar to this. Yeah, but, like, these were all separate recording sessions with different people who had different gear. Now it's like, oh, we've got a preset for that. We've got a preset for that. We've got a preset for that. This is the correct metal tone.
Which would make it, see, the way that technology has advanced, you would think it would make it easier for everyone to want to experiment, because you can do a lot more now, easier.
Yeah.
But
everybody's following the same YouTube tutorial.
Yeah, but now everyone's wanting to do the similar shit. And I think a lot of fans like us anyway, we can tell the difference between a band that just does the similar stuff all the time because that's what they love doing, and a band that's just kind of stuck because of who they are. Like, nobody ever listened to talk about a band we're about to talk about. Nobody ever heard a Motorhead album and thought that they wanted to do anything different than what they were doing.
Yeah, we are Motorhead and we play rock and roll.
Yeah, they sound, everything I've heard from them sounds like they meant that shit. That's what they wanted to play.
Oh, yeah.
And so I never listened to an album by a band like that and go, well, where's the experimentation? Because they're very clearly like, well, go somewhere else for experimentation.
Yeah.
So I understand that. It's not always got to be that way. But I can also hear it when a band is just so fucking rigid with what they're doing that I'm just like, this is pretty boring, but okay,
Yeah.
Might be exciting for now, but third or fourth listen down the line, you're like, oh, wow, it really is just similar vibe all the way through.
What is it, guys? Last time we did a song that went.
Oh, shit.
How about this time we do a song that goes.
Exactly.
Whoa, it's like the other way around. It's like a new song.
Yeah. Don't get me started on those kind of riffs.
What if we put a trap beat on it? Kill him! Spring him in a tree! Just fucking do whatever,
Yeah.
The market's so saturated now, you've either got to come at it with a great gimmick, or you've got to just toe the fucking line. Or, in a rare case, just love what you fucking do.
Yeah.
And make what you
There are some artists out there doing some unique stuff, but they don't have the audiences that they should have. But, whatever. Anyway.
Which is why we're forming the Cranked and Ranked Foundation for music makers that deserve more views. I don't know, that could be interesting.
That's
we could do
literally
like
my channel.
Yeah.
There's been a whole lot of me just talking about music that I think should be highlighted more.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Metallica, which people talk about all the fucking time. And here we are again. 3 episodes in a row where we've talked about Metallica.
Hey, man. We got Metallica on the mind.
And I'm pretty sure next episode, once we start talking about Motorhead, we're going to bring up Metallica somewhere in that too.
They're a very Motorhead influenced band.
Yeah. All right. Are you done with number 1, King Nothing?
I'm done with number 1.
My number 1 is Hero of the Day.
Nice.
You said it before. I don't remember what your exact words, but like expertly crafted song. This is like, if I wanted to like teach a class and break down songwriting for something, this is one of the songs that I would take and highlight, because you called it out. Like it builds up. Like there's no like real chorus to this song.
Yeah.
It sounds like there is, but it's just a sort of the verse builds and builds, and then it's completely like kind of like sabotaged by this. You know, the major key is sabotaged by a minor key in this what would be like, it's like, what is it? It's not really a chorus, but it that part also, the layering and timing of the 2 different voices doing the same line. But now the dreams are, and then in the end, they come together in a harmony.
Yeah.
Like they're doing, like there's the main line, and then there's a shortened version of the line that starts later, and then they intersect and become the same word at the same time in a harmony. I don't know whose idea that was. Could have been Bob Rock. I don't know. Every time I hear that, I go, fucking fantastic. And then not only that, the way the song builds, where then he gets into the "Mama, they tried and break me," and the build of that all the way to the end, and James's vocals on that last "Mama, they tried," fucking 10 out of 10. Absolutely perfect song. Also has the great distinction of being a song that's very unlike most Metallica songs. So it's like, stands out as not only being different, but just absolutely perfect in the way that it plays out. It's always very enjoyable to listen to, but I just marvel in just like that song being put together. Total disregard for normal song structure, which they've had in the past. They do that sometimes. Yeah. But you know, you can look at this album from the viewpoint of kind of stopping and going, well, if you look at like Ain't My Bitch, it's adventurous in a very different way. Because the songwriting, pretty simple, song structure, pretty simple. But on the same album, you have House That Jack Built, you have Hero of the Day, these songs that show that as songwriters, they were like this huge band, and they're like, well, why does the song need to go that way? Why does every song have to go that way? And it's true. I love that. I love a good verse, chorus, middle 8, out chorus kind of song. There are some amazing songs that are put together that way. One of my favorite songs of all time is Your Love by The Outfield, which is like literally
by City as well.
It's just, but it is verse, chorus, middle 8, chorus. Like it's such classic song structure, but it's fucking amazing. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to do this, but if you do and you fucking nail it, then it makes me like so admire you as musicians and songwriters when you nail that kind of shit. Because I think to the average listener, they wouldn't know that this song structure, it's kind of like the whole Rush thing. Rush put songs together in a way that the average listener doesn't know that there's an odd time signature. Yeah. It's like if you are able to put together a song like that, it's just amazing. So that's why Hero of the Day is my number 1, because I'm just like, Absolutely fantastic song. Do I want to hear them play this song live? Probably not. I would like to hear it live. I don't think I've ever heard it live, or live when I was at the show. But it's amazing. Anyway, so we finished ranking them, so let's do this. Which is from a different era. That's from the Saint Anger era of the band, but still, that song, the song that comes from. Where's that song? You know, Nevermore, the whipping boy.
Oh yeah, oh, dude.
Little bit of hip hop, so we do.
That's not fraud. That's false advertising.
Anyway,
Ja Rule.
so but it's like the coolest thing Ja Rule ever did, because that was before Fire Festival. And before him dropping out of Fast and Furious, what a dumbass. Come on, Ja Rule. Anyway. So there you go. That's Load. We talked about it. We ranked it. I feel like we kind of touched on all the important aspects of Load. This has been a very long episode. But you know what? I think this album deserves it. Because it's not only is it our favorite band of all time, but it's one of the most interesting and different albums of their career.
Yeah.
They'd follow it up with one that's very similar, but Reload had the comfort of following Load. So it wasn't a big surprise for anybody, but just like, I can't think of any other band that's had that big of a shift that was that big of a band in my lifetime. Obviously, like Kiss did stuff. Other bands have done it. But in my lifetime as a music fan, they were the ones that were like the big band, and then all of a sudden came out with this album that everyone's like, wait, what is this? The most recent example of that I can think of is Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is why I want to rank them eventually, because I like that new album and I've never liked anything they've done before. So I'm like the total opposite of their fan base, where they were like, "What the fuck is this album?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? This great album that they made?"
Nice.
Anyway, go ahead.
I'm excited to dig into that at some point. That was that'll be kind of nostalgic for an earlier metal discovery period of my life. But
next time you see us, we are going to begin part one of our two-part ranking.
Yes,
Motorhead.
We are doing Motorhead finally after all this time,
and we're giving them the time they deserve, so they get a two-parter. Because what is it, like 20 albums or something? It's 15 albums, I think.
It's pretty hardcore. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
The good news is they're Motorhead and they play rock and roll, so there's
Yeah. And so, but I'm looking forward to it because I like a lot of Motorhead, but I don't think past 1916, I don't think I know much Motorhead. And they've done several albums after that. So, But that 1916 was kind of like the end of the last one that I remember really liking by them. But I'm sure that I'm very interested to see where this goes. So, do you have any closing thoughts? Because we should wrap it up. It's a 2.5 hour episode.
I like Load. More people should like Load.
Yes, I got the original poster on my wall behind me. That's how much I like it. Happy birthday, Load. Happy 30th. If anyone in the Metallica camp is watching this, what's up?
What's up, dude?
So thank you to
watch our podcast.
Thank you to the peanut butter platypuses, aluminium squirrels, Belvedere ball sitters, Christmas dogs, and syrup penises out there. You're all very special, and we love you. And we'll be back soon with another ranking. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This has been a very special Cranked and Ranked. And now I would like to throw it over to a very special man, Eddie Sparxx, to take us out.
Later, dude.